This video will explain to you how to build device encounters. So once you have your device added to the devices section, so today we're going to look at Fitbit, you can go ahead and add it into all of the arms that are going to be using the Fitbit. So we're going to go to Study Arms. And then encounter schedule. And then I'm going to do a new encounter. And this is going to be called device upload. And when I select device upload, the device source is going to list out all of the devices that were in that devices page that we were just on. So because we're going to look at Fitbit, I will select Fitbit. And the participants will be uploading their steps every day, so I'm going to call this daily step count. Because this is a device upload, we ignore this participant message box and send notification. So we can come down here to the encounter begins section. So typically device encounters begin on day 0. So the first, immediately after the participant is randomized and started, so 0 days from participant start, and then we want it to end 0 days later. So basically the same day, except we want it to be at 11:59 p.m. And this will allow the participant to upload their Fitbit steps up until the time that they go to bed that night. And this will give them all day to do that. And then we're going to want to repeat this encounter because we want this to happen more than once. So let's say it's a 30-day study. So we'll say repeat this daily every 1 day 30 times. And then we're going to add that. Great, so now you'll see we have our first encounter, and you can see the name, daily step count. It's pulling from Fitbit. It starts on day 0 at 12 a.m. and it repeats 30 times. Okay, so now we want to build in some feedback on that. So we're going to go to this feedback button here. And this is where we can determine whether the participant met their goal or not. So the only option that we have here is if they completed this encounter, and then if their steps. So this is pulling all of the fields from the Fitbit device. So for some of you, this may be looking at their target. A lot of people have specific targets that are made for each participant. However, this is just more simple in that we want everyone to have a general step goal. So we're going to select if they complete this encounter and all their steps are greater than or equal to, let's say, 7,000. Then we're going to do a compliance, meaning that they met their goal. Now we're not going to build any messaging feedback onto the actual device upload encounter because what will happen is if we do that, then when the encounter closes at midnight, it will immediately send out that message to the participant. So we typically like to wait until about 11 a.m. the following day to give them feedback about their steps from the previous day. So what we're going to do is we're going to save this. And we're going to go in and we're going to send them a message about if they met their goal, if they walked more than 7,000 steps the day before. So how I'm going to do that is by adding a roundup. And so we want this to begin on day 1 because it's going to be looking at day 0. So every day it will be looking at the previous day. And we don't want this to go out at midnight. We want it to go out at 11 a.m. And again, we want this to repeat daily every 1 day 30 times. And then we need to build in that feedback that we want to send to that participant. So we're going to go to the feedback. We're going to select here, and we're going to find there's our daily step count. So we're going to select that, and then in these boxes here, we're going to say of the last 1 encounters, so yesterday's encounter, if it was completed, which it should be automatically, and they met their goal. So, and they walked over 7,000 steps. Then we're going to send them a message. And we're going to select participant. However, we also want to send them a message if they didn't do a good job and they didn't meet their goal. So here it's if they met their goal, then send them this great job message. Otherwise, message to participant. And this will go to all participants that didn't walk more than 7,000 steps. And we're going to save this. And that's how you set up a device encounter and the feedback that is built off of it. Now, one thing to note, we were looking at a Fitbit and or any kind of pedometer. If you are doing this for a medication adherence device, like a pill bottle, when we are doing the feedback, we usually leave this blank because we don't want to mark compliance. And the reason for that is we don't actually know that the participant took the medication. So for us, we don't select this compliance. This will typically just be left blank. And complete will be considered them meeting their goal. Whereas with a Fitbit, we can see the actual steps and we know whether they met their goal or not.